archetypes. But let's talk about this. So this is kind of like a lower mana curve Eldrazi deck that gets to play a lot of counter spells and instant speed interaction with cards like Ugin's Binding and Elder Deep-Fiend and Hope-Ender Coatl. So the idea here is that you're much lower to the ground. You're casting your cards more proactively. You get to play Force of Negation and Subtlety to protect your cards. You get to play Sink into the Stupor. Because you get to play Sink into the Stupor and Lrien Revealed, you get to play enough blue cards for your pitchables, which is pretty cool. I think it just was second Ugin's Binding. And we're not really trying to cast 7 drops in this build compared to like the green-based Eldrazi decks, because we're not playing Myco Spawn and we're not playing Rumble to like ramp into these cards as well. And I think that's okay because there's just like a lot of instant speed interaction. You get to play Subtlety, Force of Negation, Hope-Ender Coatl. This is if you have Temple and you can just go 2/2 counter your spell on turn 2, that's pretty strong. And you also have to play like a density of 3 mana things to sacrifice for Elder Deep-Fiend, but you also just get to chain these together and tap stuff down. So like this is, and again, this is a deck that I liked and we were like doing okay with back in the Nadu era, and I've just shelved it until the ring got banned, and I've updated it since then, and here we are. Almost no reason to play that card over any of the other like targets, I think. All right, no land. Or I mean, we have Lrien Revealed. What can you do? Right, immediate mull to 4. I'm gonna keep these 3 cards and then probably just the Labyrinth. $14 land life. Well, we're 18 lands plus 4 Lrien Reveals, right? We're 22 lands. I know, like, hold on. Why is there 30? Sorry. Like, we have the Sink into the Stupors, which, you know, would just be fine on tap lands. So we're 22 plus 3 Talismans. And our mana curve is lower than most Eldrazi decks, too. But like most Eldrazi decks, if we just find a Kozilek's command, winning will be easy. But Giganthagon or the other companions better? Gigantha being banned has no impact on other companions, I think. Kahira is the best companion in Modern. Last one, still standing. You'll see an occasional Obosh, an occasional Lutri, an occasional Umori, an occasion. I guess maybe Karug is the best one actually. But I think Gigantha, like we didn't have like a companion metagame where it's Gigantha versus Zerda or whatever. But we just did have an environment where Gigantha was just free in a lot of decks. They update the Moxfield overlay. So the Moxfield overlay was broken for me this morning. I'll try doing it again. But it would not update, and I not messaged the Moxfield guys about it yet. Yeah, it's still just broken. I'm not sure what's going on. I'll need to text them about it. So is the plan to binding this end of turn and then untap in Subtlety? Draw K command. I'll sink into the Stupor. Yeah, I think we go end of turn, bounce the frog, untap, try to Subtlety it. Obviously, this is not a good matchup to mull to 4 in. Yeah, but the exclamation point deck should still be working. I use mana traders, but I'm right now I'm using the all access token, so switching between decks will be really fast. Consign would be decent. We have the consigns in the sideboard. I don't feel like I'm living in a main deck consign world yet, but we could be getting there if like Rhinos and Eldrazi are really popular. Where does it match from mulling to 4 is good? If you're up against like Dredge and you just see like, if we just mull to 4, we just have a K command. It's just like, doesn't really matter. And Dingo with a 21-month. Let's go. Thank you for being here, my friend. Seems like an okay time to cast the Seer. How often is the Alexis token available? Not very often. A rare treat. They have the Fatal Push. Is there any room for Trash for Treasure or not enough fodder? There's I think actual no fodder in the deck at the moment. And Trash for Treasure is also not very good. And like we just have Traverse to search for Woodland, which copies the gift, right? That is concedable to me, especially on our Molda 4. Is it based around new releases? It's there's no like rhyme or reason to I don't there's not a pattern between the all access token. It's just kind of like sometimes they run a promotion and sometimes they don't. I want to cut the Force of Negations. I want to play, I think, one Ugin's Binding. I don't want to be too overlord on this effect, especially with the Dismembers. And then I think on the play, let's do Chalice of the Voids. And on the draw, maybe we do like one more Ugin's Binding and the Ghost Vacuums. I don't think the Chalice is that good on the draw. I've been mainboarding more and more consigns, both main and side and Dimir. Well, I think you should have 4 in the sideboard at the moment. 4 in the 75 for sure. It's great against so many decks. It makes the perfect flex spot. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's fine. Yeah, I agree. I think it's fine. No Vax. Well, Vacuum is pretty awkward if I'm planning on bringing in the Chalice of the Void. So, again, the plan is to bring in Chalice on the play and then Vacuum on the draw right now. I think that seems okay. I wonder if there's ever a world where they make the All Access thing a monthly sub. Yeah, I think that it's unlikely that they would do that. I would say that it seems unlikely that Wizards of the Coast would approve something like that. It would be amazing for Magic Online. Like, it would kill Mana Trader's Card Hoarder, but it would be pretty good for the player. I've kept up with Standard. If yes, what would I play in Atlanta? You to go. Okay, I have kept up with Standard some. I went through a little bit of a Standard arc while Modern was waiting to get fixed. I am gonna play in Atlanta. I have not picked a deck. I think Dimir seems to be incredibly good. There are a few decks that seem to kind of prey on Dimir. I might just play Dimir. I might play my Golgari Reanimator deck. I'm looking at some Rogue decks too. And I'm kind of planning on taking tomorrow evening and Thursday to select the deck and then figure out the cards somehow. I think we'll probably just play this tapped. Yeah, Esper Pixie is one of those rogue decks I'm looking at. Is there any card deck to work that you thought would have after ban? I think I'll need this question rephrased. I'm not sure what you're asking. Right, turn 1 Consign into 2 Frog. I kind of like just main phasing the Ugin's Binding. Getting in the yard is pretty valuable. And then next turn we can double Matter Reshaper. And if they play a Harbinger, if they go Consign into Frog and a Harbinger, we can go to the next match. In your new Flage Looting deck, does your new Flage Looting deck replace blue-white control spawn in the meta, or is just addition? I think it's different enough. Like there's reasons to play like a more traditional blue-white deck. You know, I would not say it just replaces it, no. But I think that both can coexist. Drawing Dismember is interesting. It's a little bit weird because I don't exactly want my opponent to discard 4 cards because then it makes the Matter Reshaper like less able to like block. Like they're gonna fly the first frog probably, but then like additional flyings are gonna be just really weird. The Reshaper back here. Is there any card or deck you thought would perform well after the ban, but it's not worked out so far? I see. Yeah, I don't know if I have a good answer to that. It's a good question, but like the thing is, like I've played like close like 35 decks, something like that, since the BNR. Very, very few decks have I played like more than I don't think I've played any deck more than 20 matches. And I don't think I don't think I've found anything super duper bad except for this one Paradoxical Outcome deck that was always a meme. Like expected that one to be kind of bad but fun. I don't think I've found anything super like insanely broken either. Phoenix? I mean, I think Phoenix is playable. I think Phoenix isn't doing well because literally every Phoenix player thinks that they have the winning formula. I'm not any exception to this. And they're just like, my thing in the ices and my crackling drakes and my Aria flames and my gut shots and my like what is it charms or just whatever. But finding the right 75 is a difficult task. Okay, so the main fight is this Graveyard Trespasser. Would love to find a Nulldrifter to flashback the binding. My opponent did not exile the binding though. Gutshot doesn't press me in Phoenix. I mean, Gutshot's good. I would not main deck for it like you do Magical, but playable for sure is easy. I try Grixis Phoenix with Frog. No, I'll say this. I'm very happy with my Phoenix list. I would recommend it to anybody and everybody who is wanting to play some Arc like Phoenix. Okay, let's just send this back. We could main phase Dismember, but then we don't have hardcast Subtlety up. Free win with the 15 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Card on top. I missed a PF worth sub too. Yeah, the deck pitches have been a little bit too much lately, Frenzo. But I think we'll maybe look at some decks later into the evening or something. But at the moment, I am declining all the please deck spike. Yeah, if I look at one and then like it's just like the chain reaction gets set off. Is Faithless Looting just fine? Actually, I think it's like I still think it's the best card of the format, but I don't think it's like leagues and bounds or whatever better than other cards, if that makes sense. Like I think it is. I think it's kind of like technically the best card in the format is maybe a way to phrase it. I still like when I think about what the best cards in the format are, and I'm thinking about Flage, and I'm thinking about Guide of Souls, and I'm thinking about Psychic Frog, and I'm thinking about Titan. Okay, they should have let me discard a card first. I still do think that I put looting just over any individual card, but it isn't like so much better than all the other cards either. It's like it just kind of is at the top. Leaps and bounds, not leagues and bounds. I feel like my phrase works too. What's the problem? Why not wait for Ward to resolve? Yeah, they should have. Sheriff Shot. Don't have a mana for the Hope-Ender Coatl. Gonna be a tough one. The fact that they exiled my binding is such a problem. I think it's a conversation too about best cards. Like I could be convinced that there's a better card. I just cannot think of a card that I would rank above looting still. Very happy with Opal not being broken. Yeah, like there have been so many like such confident, obnoxious posts, just like Wizards is going to rue the day they unbanned Mox Opal. And like I don't know, I feel like of all it's just is Opal is feeling pretty they're pretty fine. For praise on Dimir. So historically, Mardu has been the deck that's like particularly good against Dimir. I don't know if that dynamic is still in effect. How high am I on Urge that looting is back? We played the Jund deck. It was fine. Wizards were the day they made 23-minute time limit for Titan players. Yeah, that's honestly like the biggest thing for Titan is it's so hard to finish matches on time. We played Opal Asmo yet? Yeah, we've played a couple Asmo decks with Opal. So I think so I've heard kind of rumblings that the Dimir matchup against Mardu is just not it's not as lopsided as it used to be. I don't really know. Because I'm not out here just grinding the top decks. I'd love some feedback on that matchup, I guess. I'll take Opal was fine was banned. Yeah, I remember when Opal was around, it was like the thing was Urza was just like it's just so funny to say now, but Urza was just a much better grindy card than everything else in the format. Wait, why didn't this flip back? Oh, it's only okay, right. It's only the active player for day night. Yeah, I think Eldrazi can be okay against Dimir. It kind of depends on like are they main decking Harbinger. The Mardu matchup is still a climb for Dimir, but you can actually fight through it now. It's not as hopeless before the bans. Yeah, that's good too. Like that's definitely the thing about like Mardu being still a top deck. It's like it's the matchup is just like a lot more realistic. Maybe that's the word to use. It's kind of dead here. Go to next. Free artifact mana isn't ever safe, but we'll see. But yeah, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Everyone who's like Mox Opal was a huge mistake to unban, and like I agree that it's a risky unban, but everyone that's like for sure this shit is going to be too good. Like it's all vibe based. It is just entirely a vibe based argument, which is fine. But I'll say I'm not convinced. Okay, let's keep this. Let's put back the lab. Yeah, like I think Mox Amber is a good example of 0 mana artifact mana that's been just very balanced. More Dimir, my favorite matchup. Even if Grinding Breach started killing everyone, would OP be the right ban? Assume answers Breach. Yeah, I don't know. So it's like, oh baby, let's go. What a top deck. It's a good question. So the thing about Underworld Breach combo 2 is like this was a deck that was very slept on during the last metagame. Like Corey was just regularly just steamrolling with the Teamer Breach deck. The Teamer Breach players had like a really like surprisingly good win rate, and the deck just never picked up. But it's maybe been one that's like under the radar a little bit. I am kind of unconvinced that the deck is so different now that it's playing, Opal and looting. I'm not even convinced that looting is optimal in the deck. It definitely is fine. It's certainly a card you can play. But like I just maybe Breach combo is just really good, and I'm also not convinced that like Opal is so different from Amber. Like it feels like a kind of a more marginal upgrade to me. Yeah, Mono Blue Belcher. Yeah, Mono Blue Belcher is also like incredibly good. Sees like not nearly the amount of play that it should. Yeah, you can play more Moxen now. Like I'm not saying Breach isn't good. I'm not saying that like the deck didn't get upgraded. It also lost the Ring, which is a card that they like to play too. There's just a lot going on. I'm still just pretty happy with what's going on in Modern. Casting Elder Deep-Fiend here. 2 hours into the 24. Every build of Breach lately has been playing Preordained of looting. Yeah, I think that makes sense. So Force of Negation. The difference between Amber and Opal is more combo decks come out of Opal being legal than Amber. Yeah, I think that is true too. And like this should go without saying. Mox Opal is better than Mox Amber, of course. Of course. There's no one here is pretending like that's not the case. And Mox Opal was certainly a risky unban. Certainly was. But at the moment, I'm vibing. Is Dallas a big trip to Dingo? Yeah, Dingo lives in California. I paid for his flight out here, so I really needed the help. Ring was your best card against Boro. Martyrs, the win rate support that. I think I agree with that assessment as well. Well, my opponent's hand is garbage. Let me take the only good card here. Just wait till the unbank Chrome Mox. I mean, again, looting Opal. These are cards like I would have never felt safe unbanning without like external testing, and I kind of don't think they did that. But at the very least, they have a team of people, more than just one guy who's sitting downstairs. 3-mana 3/3 is the only good card. But doesn't get their clue token here, just loots. Let's see if they drew something to unearth. They did have unearth in their hand. Jund is still not playable. Meta can't be good. You know what's funny about this is there is a Jund style deck that exists in this format. There is a premium deck that plays Thoughtseize, good removal spells, cheap threats, that is just Jund, but it's Mardu mid range instead of Jund mid range. You like Mardu mid range is the new Jund, but on like genuinely, it's almost like that deck is too competitive for people to want to play. People, you know what I mean? It's a little too mainstream. Yeah, it's just Mardu energy. And it's one of the best decks too. If you want to play it, you know what I mean? It's one of the best decks too. It just doesn't play Tarmogoyf, so no one wants to play it. It's very, very interesting dynamic. Okay, so we're on the draw this time, so let's test out the Ghost Vacuum plan. Then I think I am gonna leave in second binding. I know I cut one and I brought in all 4 Chalice. Let's just have maybe 2 bindings in anyways. Yeah, there's also Jund Creativity if you want to play literally the Jund colors. I have that Jund Delirium deck, which isn't great, but it's like somewhat playable. Probably kind of budget friendly if you have the mana base. What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike. What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike. Okay, pretty hand. Let's keep. Probably imprinting Elder Deep-Fiend. If I draw a Hope-Ender Coatl or a Matter Reshaper, I might imprint. Want to go wave curve people? Why can't they print Pyro and Barrow into Modern? You know what? I would be on board. It's kind of honestly, those cards are pretty risky, but they are so sweet. Don't think we'll be cycling this. There's a reasonable chance we'll cast it. I kind of like y'all. Players. Does Tamio mean no Bowmaster? Like if it's Grixis with Tamio and Graveyard Trespasser, did they cut Bowmaster or no? Might be playing Modern Challenge later today. I don't know. Maybe I hadn't exactly planned on it, and in theory, in like 6-ish hours, I'm going to be taking a little break. But I could be open to that. Like the All-Cut Bowman. We played against the one that was playing Bowmaster last match, I think. Yeah, maybe somewhere around. It's interesting that they're off of it. It's cool. The metagame is like actually changing. Like people are like, I need to not play Bowmasters in this metagame. It's like when was the last time in Modern we just had actual factual metagame evolution? It just like has not happened in so long. Also, I'm gonna get Bowmastered. Everyone who said they don't play it is banned. You're all banned if they cast Bowmaster. All right. Y'all get to live another day. Discard Unearth and Blood Crypt. Why the change of scenery? We're doing a 24-hour stream. We're 2 hours in, and I felt like we'd be a lot more comfortable down here. And music room. And also, I've been thinking that I want to repaint my room and like reorganize it a little bit. I do this kind of often, I guess. I might also switch which room my stream room is in. We have a guest room that Dingo's in. I might turn the stream room into the guest room and the other one into my stream room, because the guest room is the coolest room in the house at night, and during the summer, my room is my current stream room is the hottest. So, in preparation for a grueling Texas summer, I may switch it up, and I may stream down here for a couple weeks while I make the swap and like maybe paint the room, maybe rip up some carpet or something. I just got to him before we went 1-2. Cavern seems pretty good in this list. You know, I actually added Cavern. Maybe one Cavern was supposed to be an Over the Binding. That might actually have been it. It's weird because you want like actual islands to island cycle. I think maybe that was actually the card. Can't remember. All right, Annihilator 1, sack a clue token. If you dare. Is the other room going to be hot with my streaming setup? Or is it like your first floor side house? No, it's the ventilation, I think, is it. I don't really understand why. But no, the other room is just always like much colder than every room in the house. I'm not exactly sure why that's the case, but that is the case. So to counterspell this, we can Hope-Ender Coatl it. Here's the poster. I think that's like, it's a puzzle, a bunch of like national park postcards that me and Esther did. Mostly Esther did. Esther really likes puzzles. That was like our third date or something. We did a puzzle together. Yeah, I've been really excited about this deck. What was the puzzle? She was just so beautiful. I can't remember what the puzzle was. I don't know if she would remember either. I'll ask her when she comes down again. They bounce Sink into the Stupor with Tamiyo. What happened to the Emrakul 12 decks? It turned out to be pretty awkward to build those decks with Emrakul. Hopes ended. Hopes ended. I love this card. Dreaming. They didn't post the deck tech to YouTube. I was like refreshing every day, hoping that they would, and they never did. A simpler time. I went to the fair with Esther after this, I remember. Leaving Lucy? Not if you can get attention here, right? Eldrazi drone is green? Right, yeah, that one. Ooh, Eldrazi mirror. Is a burn deck featuring Gutter Sniper in all of your glory? I'm sorry, Sweaty, you gotta respect yourself more than putting Gutter Snipe in your modern deck. Respect yourself. Don't put Gutter Snipe in your deck. Wait, did they keep a zero lander? No. All of the colored Eldrazi. Yeah, I wasn't playing in this block. There are 6. They've transcended the ethereal plane. Respect yourself. Don't put Gutter Snipe in your modern deck. Okay, so I think not drawing a blue source, I'm going to... You know, we should still imprint the Nulldrifter. We're just gonna play Coatl this turn and then Seer, and then once we draw something to imprint, the Deep-Fiend will clean up pretty fast. Friends don't let friends play Gutter Snipe. Dude, Gutter Snipe was bad in Standard in 2012. Hopes ended. Would Gutter Snipe be playable at 2 mana? Maybe. You know, when you have a 3-mana card and you're like, if this card was 2 mana, would it be playable? And the answer is maybe. That's tough. That's really tough. Okay, there's our blue source for the Deep-Fiend. Let's go ahead and just play a Thought-Knot Seer this turn. Like, we would try 2-mana gutter snipe for sure. Okay, so they have 1 castable spell next turn. That's Malevolent Rumble. If they draw a double land and they can cast Microspawn next turn, that would be lame. Yeah, 1 mana gutter snipe would be broken. Oh, I love Thermal Alchemist. I might have qualified for a Pro Tour with Thermal Alchemist. No, I think that was a different. I think I just had Fevered Visions in my sideboard of Temur Tower. Would Caracas be playable modern? It would be quite good, I think. I think there's probably gonna play the Bog. Alternatively, no, it would be banned. Maybe. Dude, Caracas Flage? Let's go. Alright, so we time walk them. Tap, tap, tap. We put them down to 3. I know their hand exactly. I don't know why we're floating mana here. I mean, they could cast Kozilek's Return and put it in the yard. Yeah, actually, that might have been good. That was probably correct. Funny, the dialogue tree. What are we having for dinner tonight? I don't know. I'm gonna try to eat as healthy as I can for my already limited cognitive function. Only 21 hours to go. Have you ever had shakshuka? I have not. No, what is that? Healthy and cutting chicken, rice kind of calories. Yeah, I know that's all you're supposed to eat when you're cutting. I haven't quite started my cut yet, but I was thinking this could be a good week to do it. Ryan with the 5-pack. Thank you. Welcome back. I haven't decided if I'm done bulking. Gotta give us a from Ryan. Make sure to thank them. And thank you for tuning in to this 24-hour podcast. Okay, my opponent is dead on board. This is always so funny when they have to kill their own Utopia Sprawl. Bulk forever. I want to. It's so much more fun. True Hero, thank you for the raid. Although you might have raided Dingo, I'm not sure. I think I'll be bringing in Consign to Memory. I don't think I want to play Dismember like killing Microspawn is. Not exactly the plan. I think I do want the bindings. Like 1 or 2. Subtlety's pretty bad against Eldrazi. Maybe binding is better. I think Ghost Vacuum too. Ghost Vacuum might be okay against like their Rumble plan, slow down Emrakul. Let's play. Yeah, Subtlety just sucks against them. Let's play 1 Vacuum. Thanks, Dr. Bill. Glad I can help. Yeah, every Eldrazi player has that moment where like, wait, Devour is not a May. I have to kill my own Sprawl. Cutting is mentally one of the harder things to do, I know. It's been a while since I've done. But I'm definitely getting to that point. Maybe I'll bulk through January and then Feb is the hard cut time. What do you think is the best deck of the format? Do we need more time? I think we need more time. I don't think that there is a clear best deck. In fact, we have had like a very surprising thing is happening. The metagame is changing like every week. This has not been the case in a long time. Just every week something else is doing better and things that we're doing good is falling. Like that is a really big sign for a healthy format, and it has been so long since it seemed like we've had that. I thought Twin was going to eat the meta, but I was wrong. Yeah, Twin is not great. Not good, even. I'm going to wait on this K command for sure. Not even good. I mean, I've been saying this about Twin for a little while, but I think that there will, assuming the metagame keeps evolving, I think that there will occasionally be a Twin deck that top 8s events. There will they graveyard Rumble. There will occasionally be a Twin deck that top 8s events. There will occasionally be a metagame where it's an okay tournament choice. I think there will probably never be a metagame where it's the best possible tournament choice, but there will be, I think, plenty of weekends where it's like okay, and a lot of weekends where it's just not good at all. Is Twin the weakest of the bands? What has Green Sun been doing? Well, Green Sun is like stock and Amulet Titan, and Amulet Titan is one of the best decks, if not the best decks. So it's hard to say that it's not doing anything. I've played some brews too with Green Sun. I think Green Sun has some real brew potential. I think that Free Strider Valakut deck is probably a little bit underrated, and there's a few decks I've been working on that I think are like sleepers, like the Free Strider Valakut, like the Green White Birthing Ritual deck. And I think we're going to see a lot of like sleepers wake up at some point. Yeah, Yawgmoth plays it too. That's true. Stock is a strong word. Canister has been playing without it to some success. I know that he has been cutting it. I just kind of genuinely am firmly in the you must play Green Sun and Amulet Titan camp. Of course, my word when it comes to Amulet Titan is not worth as much as Canister, but I'm going to keep calling Green Sun stock and Titan. It also is let's just can we just look at Goldfish and see I'm sure if you go through every Green Sun list, like it is like just certainly stock, right? It's not like you could go through that and just see a bunch of builds not playing it. Yeah, let's just wait a turn. I have played Scales with Opal. I should have played Darksteel Citadel though, which I wasn't. 3.9 and 90% stacks. Yeah, that just is deterministically stock, right? I think is this Kamigawa Island? Oh, it's Foundations, but I think the setting here is Kamigawa. I think they're playing around Hope-Ender, not going to Veil of Summer me. That's what I'm going to tell myself. Ooh, what's the best version of Phoenix right now, in my opinion? I really like my Izzet Phoenix build with Tamiyo and Dimilich and Force of Negation. Force of Negation is super good at the moment. I think I might go down like +1 Gutshot and -1 Highway Robbery, just because like there's a lot of Mardu, and so I want to be a little bit more hedged against Bowmaster. But I really like that deck, and I would recommend it. I just kind of feel like they're gonna consign this. Maybe they'll just do their own in response. Seems like the right time to cast. Ever gonna go back to the sewer with Markov? Maybe one of these days. Have I seen the Black Red Phoenix versions? Yeah, I mean that is a different deck, right? This is prowess with Phoenix. That is kind of its own archetype, I would say. I have seen it. I think those builds are cool. I really have a strong preference towards the Tamio Force of Negation Demilich build, but I should also say that I do just kind of see those two decks as almost being different archetypes. Like I don't really feel like it's the same archetype. One is like a kind of tempo-y interactive deck with and one is just a pure aggro deck. So I think you both could coexist. It's kind of like it used to be the case that there just were two prowess builds back. Hope we don't get Emrakul. We do have 5 types in the yard. 4, 5, 6. They have to have double land plus Emrakul. I'm not sure exactly how much they could mess me up though. Speaking of Markov, have I tested MH3 Soaring Shoal post on bans? I haven't, no. I'm not sure how much the bans really move the needle on those kind of decks, but it could be fun to circle back. I always play black. What deck would I recommend that's strong in the format? Well, there's Dimir Frog and there's Mardu mid-range. There's some Goryo's variants. Oh, I guess I miscounted on Emrakul, huh? Dang it. I really hope I don't draw a blue source so they can't emerge the Deep-Fiend. Okay. What do you think about Necro? Necro is playable. Okay, so with Necro, it's like Necro's another black deck you could play. With Necro, there's like 4 or 5 ways you can build it. I had like a Necro Belcher deck that I think might be like quietly the best way to build it. That deck already like only played 1 ring as a profane tutor target, and I think it was pretty good. And it seems like Belcher could be a good direction to go. You can build it with Cabal Coffers. You can build it more traditional, like the PT lists with just normal like Profane Tutor into Soul Spike into Shieldred. There was someone who'd like top-aided a challenge with that recently. You can splash blue for Psychic Frog and counter spells too. Like Consign is like a pretty good card to get 2 out of the board, and Psychic Frog is like it's like your extra card advantage spell in the deck, and it also goes well with Necro because you can just discard your extra cards to grow the frog. And then I think you could also maybe build like a more mid-rangey Necro deck that's like Gothy Voidwalker, Bowmaster, Shieldred, discard spells, and that one's like a little bit more theoretical. I don't know. I've been thinking. Do you think the twin unban has been proven mediocre? They could unban Punishing Fire. Well, I think Punishing Fire would also be mediocre. It also kind of seems to me that I was like, what can my opponent even do here? It seems to me that Punishing Fire would not be a particularly good card, but it is kind of a slow, clunky card that slows games down, and there's potentially some reason to not unban it. Because what pushed out the mono black Shielder deck that you played? I think you got the right. I mean, I thought that deck was like kind of okay. I think that it was not good against Mardu, but it's probably much better against Mardu now. But yeah, like in that deck, you could play Necro. And you couldn't play Nethergoyf anymore, and you couldn't play the field package probably if you played a bunch of Necros. Although maybe you could compensate with Urborg. But yeah, that kind of shell with Necro is something I haven't really explored and been wanting to explore. I almost started to work on some Necro decks yesterday. Decided to do some other stuff instead. So they let me draw 2. Yeah, not a lot they can do. In fact, I might get to bounce Emrakul with Ugin's Binding. We'll see. I can also just go tap. Do you think Jeskai or Mardu Dreadhorde Arcanist is viable? If yes, what kind of shell would you play? So I'll say that even like pre-shakeup, we had this Rakdos Dreadhorde Arcanist deck that we were like 13-2 with at one point, and that deck has some legs. Arena of Glory makes you look at a lot of cards differently, and Dreadhorde Arcanist is one of these. And I think I have not been the biggest Dreadhorde Arcanist believer in Modern in general, but I do think that it has been pretty good. I guess we're just gonna go upkeep Deep-Fiend. It was pretty good for a little bit of time. I've been wanting to update that deck with looting. Looting is kind of weird. I keep getting stuck. I'd like to update it at some point. I know that you want to play a cool blue Dreadhorde Arcanist deck and you just will feel on top of the world, but I think that you want to be a lot more black focused than blue focused probably. Hopefully they don't have a command. Oh, they have one? Sheesh. Oh, they don't have one. Okay, we're just wasting our time here. That's fine. That's all we do over here anyways. Talisman, one card in their hand. So now I can go Thought-Knot Seer plus Nulldrifter. And then like hit them for 5 and then have another Deep-Fiend ready to go. The fact that we're kind of stomping the other Eldrazi deck is pretty exciting. Took Breaker of Creation. Okay. Yeah, you ask Dingo too if he wants anything. Okay. Do you know if he's had any food?
I offered and nobody wants.
Yeah, no, everybody keeps saying no to that.
Yeah, and I have like avocados that are perfectly ripe.
Hey, thank you, sweetheart. Oh no, I mean I drew another Deep-Fiend, but this is the fact that they can get this is pretty good. Binding Thought-Knot Seer would also work. Well, this is protection from instants, so we can flash it back to bounce the Emrakul, but we can't bounce it. Wait, sorry, they exiled my island? You're just giving me a castable Deep-Fiend? Rob Duster with the 40 months. Thank you so much. Hope you're doing well today. You don't have a good attack. You know I can cast Elder Deep-Fiend. Follow Duster out. Also, do I K command for a bunch first? Seems like a pain to stack the deck. Can't exile Emrakul, pro instant. Why'd we let them block? So I don't die to the Emrakul. Oh wait, were they just dead? Oh, sorry, I didn't realize they were dead to the Deep-Fiend. Okay, this is me yelling at them. On the upside though, they cannot possibly beat this. So there's that. Slow rolling here. Well, I'm not slow rolling. They know I have the Deep-Fiend. At least I'll do the Labyrinth, right? It's not like a surprise I can cast a Deep-Fiend. This is a line that like cannot possibly lose, and that's kind of all I thought about. I didn't think about tapping the thing. Okay, Miss Lethal won the game. 4-1 prediction. This deck is sick. Okay, let's keep this on the draw on the blind, I think. Turn 3 Seer. Force up. That's gonna be a tough one to contend with on the draw, I guess. I definitely didn't think this deck was playable. It's nice to see it winning a few. Yeah, I know it kind of looks weird on paper. We got a lot of testing in like long time ago, like 5 or 6 months ago, and it was like weirdly pretty good back then. But you just kind of needed the ring to be banned to play it, and the ring is banned. On the draw against Blue Affinity, we're gonna struggle some. Might struggle a lot. Got Kappa Cannoneer in the yard, Urza Saga. Maybe just do a quick does remain interesting. I mean, that's pretty stock in the Kappa Cannoneer deck. I think on the play we'll probably bring in Chalice. Chalice on 0 looks like worth playing against them. I don't know if we're gonna Chalice on 1 that often. Maybe like 2 copies. You play like 1 Ghost Vacuum maybe. these decks are pretty good. We had a build that's similar to this, like a bit bigger with Urza and like Force of Negation. I liked it. Okay, I'm gonna cut my Force of Negation. Oh, listen. I think I play my build. I did like that deck a lot. I like to play a little bit more of it, maybe. This is good info if it is. Okay, now I know how to. I can sideboard against it better. I think the bindings are going to be solid against them. Just set up for like balance everything. Click this. Emery Wizard with Flame of North sounds like a meme. Yeah, people have been trying to do this in like a little bit with like Tomio and Emery. I think it's taking the net rest of the week up to. I'm planning to be live at least one more day this week. I'm going to be out of town for a tournament in Atlanta this weekend. Everything just is happening at once. It's like the Atlanta tournament, Cube for Charity, this 24-hour stream. But I think I'll be live on Friday and then catch an evening flight to back on Monday. I might stream Thursday also. We'll kind of see like how when it goes, if I just need another or not. Seems like I should Elder Deep-Fiend. I'll reset the audio interface. Test. Emerge. Island into play. I get rebuked here. Did get rebuked. Not, I guess. All right. Ancestral Recall. Chalice on 0. Get a Mox Opal. We Subtlety their Kappa Cannoneer. They're gonna need another land to cast that next turn since we they had the Saga tapping for mana this time around. A lot of good top decks here. They do put it on top. See if they have a land drop to play. They didn't play a land this turn though. They may not be able to cast it again. Okay, there we are. Okay. We may end up Ugin's Binding the Kappa Cannoneer. And if we can flash back the Ugin's Binding, we bounce all these zeros and they can't replay them. New year, new setup. Temporary new setup. Oh, maybe just bouncing a 0 main phase was better. Could've been. I'll leave an island up so I can draw Nulldrifter and win the game. Any chance of running trophy counter? Probably not. We need to keep the vibes a bit more relaxed, probably. Wow, a bunch of garbage. Yeah, I guess I'm the one that put these cards in the deck, though. I could maybe keep this Lrien Revealed. Yeah, it's probably a bit too much of a draw 3 when I have a lot of mana. 3 cards in their hand. Into Thoughtcast. 2 cards. Down to 4. Okay, so we're looking pretty hard for a Nulldrifter or Elder Deep-Fiend. I think I leave. No, just do it. We also bottomed a lot of non-Nulldrifter, non-Elder Deep-Fiend cards. Just a Kolaghan's command to go. Oh right, you could just trigger it with the K command. Could I have done that last time? I guess I could have done that last time. Oh, oopsie doopsie. I'm mostly a cube streamer these days. Modern comes second. They should have sacked the bauble probably. So we're gonna draw into the Subtlety, and we can Subtlety Urza when they replay it. Or I could just let it go. I think it's probably good to Subtlety. We could just make them sack a land. Quite the turnaround. 3 mana Emery. It's kind of funny how they started this game casting Emery on turn 1 for 1 mana. Might be a concession here. They have to sack another land. Nulldrifter. Like a Nulldrifter would have made them concede for sure. Okay, I think I like our sideboard plan. Chalice definitely worst on the draw. Yeah, the draw, let's just play 1 Chalice, 1 Ghost Vacuum. It was good with the bindings, but just typically just obviously so much worse in the draw. The zeros are usually out of their hand. Okay, let's keep this one. We can go turn 1, Imprint, Deep-Fiend, Dismember, Emery, and Cycle Lrien Revealed. Turn 1 Emery? Okay. Turn 1 Emery all 3 games. Lucky us. Did I side in vacuums? I sided in 1 vacuum. Just like contains Emery, and you can pop it for a win later, potentially. Four cards in their hand after casting some thoughts. Better than Thought Monitor in this deck is something we determined the other day. Now I think I will hold up the Hope-Ender Coatls instead of casting the Matter Reshaper, because there's a pretty good chance they just cast an Urza this next turn. Have I tried any mono red Eldrazi decks with focus on Arena of Glory? No, I don't think that there's a really possible way to build that deck better than any other Eldrazi deck. I have tried to build decks like that, but I have not figured out a good way to build them, I guess. Hopes ended. This card feels so good when you get him like this. The next turn we can emerge Elder Deep-Fiend. I'll go. Well, I guess I can't cast it next turn unless I don't play Reshaper. Yeah, I guess we just hold up the hardcast Subtlety then. Yeah, Dingo's sleeping because we're gonna take some turns. Yeah, he's taking the night shift. I'm taking the morning shift. I guess it's gonna actually end up playing out better if I Ugin's Binding this turn. I can just bounce both of this constructs. It's bad if they Force of Negation. It could probably play around that. Four cards in hand. They grab a Shadow Spear. E Boing with the 25 gifted subs. Thank you so much. Happy New Year to you, my friend. Got a gifted sub from Boing. Awning. Be sure to thank them. Okay, so they consign this, which is okay if they don't have another copy of Consign, because we get to go upkeep, tap all of their blue sources, and bounce their... I guess we're not going to tap Mox Opal, because that's going to get bounced to their hand. Hopefully. And then I can play my land, or I can hold this as a blue card for Subtlety. I don't think they're going to cast anything we're going to want to Subtlety this turn, because I built their deck and I didn't put Thought Monitors in. I just put Thought Casts. I drew a Kozilek's command, so I want more mana in play. Is this official Valorant? Yeah, Valorant's doing this thing where they, for every 5 subs that are gifted on Twitch, they gift an extra one. It seems like a crazy amount of money, but seem to be making it work. All right, we need to dodge second Consign to memory. Pretty bad here. With Binding the Archer, you just main phase the Deep-Fiend. Well, I get to like time walk them if they just don't have second Consign. They did have second Consign, so yeah, maybe we should have. We're dead though. I think that list is pretty good. Okay, so 3-2. Mono Blue Eldrazi might be back. I think the deck looked pretty solid. Certainly one that you can work on. Good. We got a lot of decks to get to today, though. I think next I want to play the Felia Overlord deck.